Hello and welcome back. I'm your host, Rareeddie1, and welcome. Today I am doing pop culture, and today I am starting a new series on my channel. I'm going to call it The Look Back. So this series is going to be a look back on some of my all-time favourite films and TV shows. Now, some of these TV and film shows are, when I get stuck for something to watch, when everything on like Netflix, Disney Plus, in the films, on TV, it's just full of woke nonsense, woke garbage. Absolutely, writing is absolutely shite, awful. And so I put something safe on, basically. So I put a safe TV show on, or a safe film what I've seen many times before. So today I'm going to be looking back at The Nice Guys. So let's get into it. As well with this series, you may not have to look at my ugly face that much. So let's have a look. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can get away with. And let's put me down in some little corner somewhere. I may even get rid of my face altogether. And so yes, I hope you enjoy this series of The Look Back. And let's get into it. So The Nice Guys. Here we are at IMDb. So The Nice Guys, it came out in 2016. It's a 15. It's just under 2 hours. It's a whole load of fun. It really is a whole load of fun. Now, this is in Ryan Gosling's wheelhouse. He is fucking awesome in it. It's directed and written by Shane Black, starring Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, and I can never ever get a name right. Angourie Rice. I know I butchered that. I do apologise. But on IMDb, I'm only having a quick look at IMDb. This has got a 7.4 out of 10. Now, I consider this to be a bit of a cult, a bit of a underrated action comedy crime thriller noir film. And I find this fun, enjoying. It's got easy layups. It has easy layups throughout the film, but that doesn't really get on my nerves, because the characters are written quite well, and that's something I'm going to have a look into in a moment. And Nice Guys on Rotten Tomatoes, 91% critic and 79% audience score. Top critic 90, and that's whereabouts. I would give this an 8 out of 10. To be honest with you, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Now, why am I deciding to call this series The Look Back? Well, it's me just looking back at some of my favourite films. So I can either find anything new, even though there's so much choice out there. There's too much choice sometimes. It's either the film or the TV show that I maybe sit down and watch, or don't watch. Either as it's full of woke messaging, or really bad CGI like fucking Secret Invasion. So, like I just said, today's look back is The Nice Guys. It's starring, directed by Shane Black, and starring Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. In the title roles, both bring a great screen presence to the big screen in this buddy action comedy film that has a noir baggage to it in a good way, set in the late 70s in LA. Now, I will get my faults with the film out of the way, as there really isn't that much wrong with it. The first quarter of the film seemed to be trying too hard to create a legendary quote, catchphrase, and it was slightly jarring. But after that, after that, it did well of getting us to the path of the plot, but after that, it was trying too hard to me to, have a legendary phrase or catchphrase or quote. But after that, like I said, it led us to the plot, to the story, and after that, it settled into a really great underrated film. So after the death of a porn star, not in a suspicious way at all, a car flying off a cliff into a house. As she lay there dying, she asks, "How do you like my car, big boy?" Air quotes around that. Will we see that later on in the film? Quite possibly. So, and that's where we meet Russell Crowe, Jackson Healy. We find out he's a hired enforcer / protection for people who can't really go to the police or can't really trust the police to do a correct job. Who has a simple yet effective way of interrogating / dealing with people and problems. He was hired by Amelia Kuttner, played by Margaret Qualley. Sorry, I probably butchered that name. Qualley. This leads him to Ryan Gosling's Holland March, who plays a private eye who is hired by now dead porn star's aunt to help him find said porn star, where the two of them break the ice with Ryan Gosling, Holland March's arm. So that scene was absolutely hilarious. Them two actually meeting. So you see Russell Crowe. He's a bit of a, I wouldn't say low life, but he has to do his job. Is in the low life of the LA, and as he meets Ryan Gosling's character, a private eye who is an ex-cop, and that scene was quite funny, quite well shot, and well put together. We find out that Ryan Gosling's Holland March is a single dad, a bit of a drunk, and also, like I just said, an ex-cop who is just an all-round lovable loser. Who, this is, like I said before, is right in his wheelhouse of his. He can act this role. He could act this role without even trying. I would say, he gives a top class performance in this role. He has a lot of dumb luck and a hell of a lot to laugh at. The way he plays it, we find out that Jackson Healy, Russell Crowe's character, his ex-wife was quite literally fucking his dad. Who is more of the leader of the two. With focus and drive, if only for money. Just don't shortchange him. That's all. Holland March has a hell of a lot of funny scenes where he's breaking in, which leads him right to the ER room, or falling right on top of clues. It's just hilarious. It really is a really decent, well put together film. Story is okay. The story's not the greatest, it's no Godfather, but it's you can actually get yourself lost in the film because the late 70s LA is fantastic. Not quite on the level of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but nevertheless, it's actually quite a stunning scene, a stunning city in the 70s, grimy, colourful, but yet dull. That's so they're getting the point, because this film has a couple of messages that the car industry and the car industry is bad, and it's polluting, and the birds are dying because of the smog of the polluting cars. Again, that's not off-putting because it's not in your face. It's barely there. And the other message was porn is bad. Porn's bad for you. It sends you down the road maybe that you don't want to get back. But it's also, again, it's not in your face. It's also quite funny because a lot of the people who do the porn action say it's they call it a performance, an art performance film, and that's quite funny because they want to put a message out there, but the only way they can do it is in a porn film, and it's quite funny. Again, it's not in your face. It's not shoved down your throat like every other fucking film what's coming out right now. This film knows what it is. It knows it's there to make you laugh. With them two sort of messages there, aren't, that doesn't take away from this film that it's there to make you laugh and you have a good time, a good couple of hours. You can lose yourself. Take it or leave it with them messaging, but it's quite literally a good film. I can also put aside the easy layups of the film to the easy layups that get the characters to each story point, as the writing of both leads and the side characters, they are so full of depth, interest, problems, which leaves you wanting to know more about them. And like I said, the backdrop of the 70s LA, colourful but yet dull. They really wanted to put a point across that the smog and the car industry is causing that. And that's what they wanted to get across. But again, I'm repeating myself again, it's not in your face, and I appreciate that. One of my favourite lines. One of my favourite lines was when both March and Jackson, Russell and Crowe and Gosling are looking for Amelia, played by the wonderful Margaret Qualley, when their search for Amelia takes them to climate change protest. All the protests are wearing gas masks to help symbolise they are dead. The two of them start to call out Amelia to no avail. Makes one of the protesters in a snarky way say, "We're all dead." Which Jackson says, "Well, why the gas masks?" And the protester in a snarky way again says, "Well, we can't breathe, obviously." Jackson said, "Well, the gas masks would actually help you breathe." I'm not doing that line justice, but I found that quite hilarious. Which is quite hilarious. It just makes them look foolish, and and it's quite freaking going on with protests. Just stop oil here in the UK, where they're just fucking being dickheads. And it seems we've come along. Protests have come a long way. I won't give away the. I'm not going to give the ending away in my series. The look back, on the off chance you haven't seen this film or any of the other films I've got to talk about, or TV shows I'm going to talk about. Just on the off chance you haven't seen it, but you really want to watch it. But a slight hint to how this ends. In the end of it all, we find out the evil politician, played by the wonderful Kim Basinger, and the corrupt car industry, just like in real life, get away with it. Get away with most of it, at the end of the film. So March and Jackson have a small win, but with but no major win they were hoping for. So that's all the ending I'm gonna give to you. If you've seen this film, let me know what you think. If you haven't seen this film, let me know if you're gonna watch it on my my recommendation, my look back at this film. Again, this film is fantastic. It's one I generally like going back to. I've seen it a few times. You know, it's got pretty women in it. It's got Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, who are fantastic in it. Absolute fantastic in it. Ryan Gosling is hilarious. Russell Crowe is on point. He is fantastic. They did have a little wink to maybe a sequel is in the works. Obviously, that hasn't happened, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. At the end of the film. But yeah, that's my look back. Let me know if there's anything you want me to look back on. I'm not sure what I'm going to look back on next. Maybe The Matrix, maybe Sons of Anarchy, maybe The Orville, maybe Family Guys, maybe The Simpsons. But I'm going to look back, maybe The Godfather, who knows. But I'm going to look back at some of my all-time favourite films and TV shows and have a go at doing this sort of content. Let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this, let me know. If you haven't enjoyed this, you also let me know. Just let me know. That'd be great. Please give it a like. Please think about subscribing to me. That'd be awesome. If you haven't liked this, I thank you anyway for the view and the watching. If you want to get in contact with me, all my links and that are in the description of this video. So I've been Rareeddie1. I will see you in my next video. Peace.